What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome back to episode 100 of the Board Shorts and Banter podcast. Today, obviously, to celebrate this momentous achievement, we have got the GOAT, the daddy of the natties, Mr. AJ Morris joining us. AJ, how are you doing, mate?
Oh, first and foremost, it's very, very kind. Secondly, well done on reaching 100 episodes. That takes a hell of a lot of effort, time, dedication, and passion for what you do. Because, I don't even know how many episodes of podcasts I managed to do, but I know the effort that they take because I ran mine from like 2015 up and on and off until a certain point where I just kind of I ran out of that fire and passion. But it's good to see that you've got that, guys, and you're obviously producing not only an informative podcast but a fun one as well. And I think that's really important. So appreciate you guys having me on. Looking forward to the chat.
Cheers, mate. Oh, very nice.
Lovely stuff. Yeah, we haven't... Josh, when was the last time we put out an episode? We were talking about like slacking and getting to 100, but when was the last time we uploaded?
Like 3 weeks ago. We've had many people in the DMs express
we've
their
had
concerns at where we've been.
Thousands
Because we've very much disappeared recently.
Yeah. Can you still hear me? I just froze for a second then.
Yeah, I can hear you now, mate.
Beautiful. Yeah, we've had thousands of applicants of people that wanted to come on and join us for the 100th episode, but we had to whittle our way through them. And AJ didn't even apply, but we just needed to get this man on, so we appreciate your time, bro.
I did apply. I definitely did. I'm sure it just went to spam.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Wicked.
Well, we have got absolutely loads of things to discuss, but I think to kick things off, I want us to go back a little bit to like the start of your natural bodybuilding journey. I feel like I've followed you on Instagram and like almost, followed your journey in natural bodybuilding since you moved up to Rotherham, which was it 2019, 2020?
It was 2020, late 2018, early 2019. So, yeah, that's when I moved up here.
I remember the first time that I saw you in Ultraflex and you was on the pendulum squat and my mate tapped me, was like, look at that guy, look at his knees. Like you were doing like the really hard extensions and I was like, oh my God, who is this nutcase?
I can remember doing a lot of sets like that, to be fair. But yeah, I always trained hard, just maybe didn't have so much awareness on execution when I was a little younger. But luckily I managed to get away with that because I've never really had any major serious injuries. So the way that I train, I think is, I'm kind of lucky in the sense that my body's, touch wood, pretty resilient. I can handle a lot of, battering that maybe for some people would put them, into a 4-week deload.
Mate, if I did a full extension on a pendulum, I would end up in a hospital bed, being operated on almost immediately.
I was about to say, you'd be a paraplegic by now, wouldn't you?
Oh, mate, yeah, big time. I'll be on the BPC every single day.
Don't tell Steph that.
No, natty for life, bro. AJ, what year did you first compete? How long ago was it?
I first competed in 2014, and that was with the BNBF.
11 years ago?
Yeah, man.
Mad.
Yeah.
Whoa.
How old was you then?
18. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
So, 18 years old. Did my first show. It was great. Absolutely loved it, and definitely got bitten by the bug. And, at that point also, I thought, do one show naturally and then I want to go assisted because I only looked up to assisted bodybuilders at that point. So I was like, do a show naturally, do a prep, show that I can do it, then go assisted, which it seems to be a lot of like the teenage mindset even now, is that there's a lot of teens that will just be like, yes, do one natural prep and then go assisted. Fair play, if that's really what you want to do. I have no problems with that, genuinely I don't. I'm fully supportive of people going to that side young. If they've got big goals, they need to chase them down young. There's a lot of young bodybuilders out there that are absolutely killing it at the Olympia. So you've got to start young sometimes if you do it safely. So but then I went and I saw some like the men's open classes, and I was like, oh man, like these guys are fucking awesome. You know, I saw like a guy called Jamie Bishop. I remember him very clearly. And then went to the British finals. I didn't place. I placed third in my first show, the qualifier, and then I didn't place the finals. And I went to the finals, just the Echo Arena. I remember seeing Dave Kay compete that year, Mark Claxton, and I was like, oh, wow, what the fuck? Like, can you do this? Yeah, but at that point, I didn't even doubt it. You know, I didn't doubt that they were natural. I wasn't like, oh, like these guys are so good, they can't be natural. Bullshit. I was like, nah, these guys are amazing. I would like to look something close to like that in the future. So that's what honestly kept me natural and still keeps me natural to this day, is that I like the way a top natural bodybuilder looks, honestly. And if anything, like, I prefer the look than a top assisted guy. I have a preference of it. I like the detail. I like the hardness that you can achieve. And don't get me wrong, there's some top tier assisted guys that can achieve that, but they're also like the fucking genetic elite, you know? So for me, I really do love natural bodybuilding. I have loved it since that first show.
What was the motivating factor then for you? Because obviously anyone that's followed you for long enough knows that obviously go-karting was like a big part of your life when you was younger.
Yeah.
But what was where was the transitional period for you going from that then embarking like your first competition prep, or maybe even getting into the gym? Did you get into the gym for like the sake of like go-karting, or like what was the journey there?
Yeah, so I was very like active and in the gym because this was probably from 2010. The reason why I started getting really active was, funny enough, because I got dropped from the football team at school, in secondary school, because I wasn't fit enough. My PE teacher said, you're not playing because you can't keep up for the 90-minute match. And about 3 weeks after that, I've never told this story, but it's like on the top of my head for some reason, I don't know why. 3 weeks after that, there was like a 5K race, which was, which was just a school thing. And I came like, my school wasn't very big, and I came in the final 5, like total shit. And I remember that at that point, I was like, I'm going to come back to this same 5K, and I'm going to finish in the top 5 of the whole school next time I do it next year, because it was a yearly thing. And that next year, I came second out of the whole school because I went so hard on 5Ks. I was doing a 5K almost like at least every other day. I just went hard on 5Ks because I was like, I'm not ever feeling that way again. That's what really lit like a competitive fire and spark within me for something like that, like fitness related. I was already into karting, so it only helped my karting. So because I was already suffering in karting by not being fit enough, funnily enough. And then with karting, I found that my neck was like, you know, by the end of a race weekend, I was like, you know, over like this, which you see with a lot of younger karters, the neck is the limitation. It's very physical. And yeah, the neck is the main thing that, like, by the end of the race weekend, you're like over here like this. My neck always hurt. So I worked on like strengthening my neck in the gym. So I did some weights, and I really liked the weights. So I did the weights alongside the 5Ks. It was just 5K. So it wasn't even any running like undulation. It was just 5K. And then, yeah, like by that point, it was 2012. I was really, 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 really fit, really running like good 5Ks. And then karting kind of ran out of money. So because it's a lot, you know, we're talking thousands of pounds per race weekend, you know, when you're 16, 17 years old. I mean, now it's even worse, but back then it was, I don't know, probably 30 to 40K a year to racing karts.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then if you want to go up from there, you know, single seaters or even closed wheel racing, we're talking hundreds of thousands. And if you don't have sponsors, you're just, or like a fucking, you know, rich dad or rich family. You're not.
If your dad's the head of Aston Martin, like Lance Stroll, then yeah.
I mean, that's a prime example for everyone to understand. Hopefully, people watch Drive to Survive. They probably understand that. So yeah, I just didn't have that money, and I said to my dad, you know, look, like, yeah, I think this is going to turn to the point where it's no longer what I want it to be, which was because I wanted motorsport to be my thing for the future. And I could see it turning into that guy, lad and dad, turned up the weekend, had a bit of fun, was doing it for a hobby, but also spending a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
So I was like, I kind of need to have a flicker, change of direction. So 2012 stopped. 2013 took my weight training a lot more seriously. Did my first ever sort of bulk. Got very, 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 very fat, but also quite strong. And then 2014 did my first show. So it was literally like very, very, very short transition. But I needed that because just like how I wanted to get better at the 5K, I wanted to get involved in bodybuilding quite fast because I'd grown a good passion for that almost immediately. So that's kind of the story.
So basically, you're on like a multi-decade long villain arc for the teacher that told you was fat and unfit.
100%. Yeah, Mr. Twilly. Mr. Twilly.
Oh, it's always going to come full.
Mr. Twilly, not Willy.
All right, I was going to say.
Yeah. However, everyone did call him Mr. Willy. So,
I hope that he's listening.
He probably is, to be fair. He's probably, this villain arc I've been on, he's been like, God, that guy really took that comment quite personally.
Yeah. I'm going to be horrible to kids more often.
Yeah, it worked well.
They become champion bodybuilders when I give them a bit of grief.
Oh, fantastic. That's amazing. So obviously now then, not now, sorry. Me and Josh were just speaking beforehand, and if I remember right, didn't you actually 2020, when was that? What season was that for you? Was that like your third season? Was that your fourth season? Like what was that for you?
So I did 2014, 2015, 2017. Fourth season was 2020.
Fourth season, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you actually get a pro card in that season as well?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I got a pro card at the INBA, PNBA European Championships. And at the time, I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, pro card, amazing. Awesome. But then on reflection, I was like, I haven't achieved my goal. My goal the whole time was to win that thing that's behind me there. Win an overall British title or win at least a British title in a men's open category, because I did that in 2017 with the juniors, which is the side tricep that I've got in Ultraflex with the blonde hair. And I wanted to do that again in a men's open category. I didn't do that year. I got rightly beaten by, I forget his actual name, but Flex Luger. He's amazing. He's so good. He won the BNBF overall title in 2022, I think the year after, or 2023. But yeah, he's seriously good. And that was a wake-up call. I was like, oh man, like he's just these people. Like he turned up at backstage. Sorry, getting on a tangent, but he turned up backstage in a dressing gown, and I was like, oh, okay, like nice. And then he took the dressing gown off, and I was like, oh, fuck, because like he had everything that I didn't have. You know, massive chest, huge arms, huge delts. I was like, looking at his legs, I was like, oh, okay, like maybe he hasn't got the legs, and he didn't have great legs at that point. But yeah, man, his upper body was crazy. But anyway, that woke me up and it made me realize that, like, look, like if there's guys in the amateur circuit, he didn't even win the overall that day. Mitch Jarvis won the overall. If there's guys in the amateur circuit that are still beating you, let's go back to the amateur ranks. You know, you have the option when you win a pro card. You don't have to take it. You know, the only time you take it is when you compete as a pro. So, I mean, there's people that take that a bit too far, though. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, there's people that have won. I know, I won't name names because it's just unfair to call out. But there's European athletes within the INBA, PNBA circuit that have won, I'm talking 12 to 15 INBA, PNBA pro cards and just never accepted them and keep winning overalls. And that's, to me, unfair because you're just taking the opportunity for an amateur to win a cool overall title every time you win one of those things, and you are rightfully a pro. For me, I also won my pro card by not a virtue of winning an overall, which I told myself I don't want to win a pro card unless I win an overall. I just won my class, and I got given one. And also, let's be honest, like I sound like I'm just shitting on myself here, but still, like...
No, AJ, it's an important lesson for people to hear.
Yeah, I agree. Also, as much as I was happy with the improvements I made from 17 to 20, I wasn't in my normal condition that year. I mean, being upfront and honest, I'm 6.5 pounds lighter now than I was on stage at that showing.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. And now I'm in close. I'm still not there. I'm still not where I want to be 100% condition wise. I've still got 2 or 3 more pounds to lose. But that just showed like I looked alright because I've got okay muscle when I come down, but I was not in pro level shape by any means. So that again made me think, you know what, I need to present a physique that is closer to that. 2021, I did. I won the British title, but then again, still I wasn't good enough to turn pro that year because rightfully I got beaten at opportunities to win pro cards. And, especially at the Olympia, which, let's be honest, isn't, in my opinion, the greatest depth of field. It was lucky that I was in a class where there was 2 guys that showed me the fuck what a pro should look like. Jacob O'Neill, who's 195 pounds on stage, shredded. And another dude who was 186 pounds on stage, shredded. Not that weight means everything, but I got made to look like a child, not only because I dieted myself to oblivion by that point and had messed up the back end of the prep, but still, like, it was not a good look. It was up against 2 really, really, really good people. And again, I got the stage photos back and I was like, mate, you just need to be a lot better. You need to have more muscle so you can get even leaner. The only way you're going to stand out as a lightweight and be someone that could be in the mix for overalls is by being bonkers peeled, not just peeled, but bonkers peeled, and keep the muscle and the hardness and the roundness in that process. And honestly, since 2021, that's what I've been preparing myself to do is, get myself into a better start point for prep, have, a rate of loss that makes a lot more sense than the last one, be stronger mentally, physically, everything. And that's where I'm at now. It's time's flown. Feels like yesterday that I only just competed. But yeah, I mean, long story short, that is the reason why I didn't take the pro card, because I wasn't at a pro standard yet. And if I can present a pro level physique this year and I do get one, amazing. If I don't, or if there's people that is better than me, I'll just go back and keep working because that's what I love to do. I just love to train. I love to diet and compete. And if I could compete every year, I would, but it doesn't work that way. So yeah, I just love the process.
Good man. Who won that day? Was it Jacob or the other guy?
Jacob by an absolute country mile.
Yeah, Jacob's one of the best physiques that I've seen in person, natural wise.
Isn't he IFBB Pro now?
He is.
He was one of the first to get it naturally. Did he actually get it at a show which was untested as well?
It was the Canada show.
Oh, the Canada.
The Ben Weeder.
My guy, Jacob Delara, he got it at NPC Nationals. He actually.
Oh, yeah, he did.
NPC Nationals, which is crazy. But yeah, look at this dude. Like, what the fuck is this? How do you compete against that?
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow.
Oh, fucking hell.
What the fuck? He's like Doug Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, so good was my comment, yeah.
Do you know the best bit about Jacob? He's such a nice guy as well.
He is, yeah, he is.
He opens his mouth and you're like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect.
Yeah. He's built for this shit. He was like, the last time he competed before he came back in 21 was like when he was a teenager. And he showed me some pictures of when he was a teen. And I was like, mate, you look better than most people are going to look in their mid-30s at 17.
It puts things into perspective, doesn't it? I do think at the minute there's a lot of hype around, and it's not even just at the minute. The last 2 years, there's been so much hype around a few teens, and when you compare like the current crop of teens to the likes of Jacob and a few other freaks, Jay, what's he called? The Ultraflex guy, Jay
Hollingsworth.
Yeah, when he competed, oh my god, would smoke the majority of the competition these days, and yet there was no hype around them. They just did the work, turned up to shows and won.
That's it. There's always going to be someone like that as well, and that's why I always say to clients, I'm like, they send me like these other competitors in their show, and I'm like, you do realize that there's going to be at least 2 or 3 that are not going to post anything, and they're going to come and they're going to turn up and they're going to pump up, and you're going to freak the fuck out if you see them because they're going to be that good. So
That was kind of like Brad Coxedge. I remember like when we was at that show.
Brad's a great example.
Yeah. Like he doesn't post anything on his socials, and then he just showed up and absolutely cleaned everyone.
Yep. Yeah,
Wild.
he literally walked. I think it was like a one call out jobby with him. Oh yeah, he's amazing. See you later.
Oh mate, it was game over in the pumping room because everyone shit themselves.
Yeah. I remember we were looking around like, all right, boys, who do you think's got it? Who do you think's got it? Like, this guy's pretty good. This guy's pretty good. And I saw Brad in the corner, like, take his hoodie off where he'd been tucked away in the corner all day. And I tapped Josh on the shoulder. I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah. He had that look as well, like not just like an amazing physique, but no homo, like super good looking guy. So when all of those things go together, it's like, oh man, like look crazy.
Yeah, captain of Team Hampson for sure. So AJ, prep for this year then. How many weeks are you in so far?
Like over 20 in total.
Got you.
Yeah.
Are you not too bothered on the duration? Like, are you not focused on the amount of weeks that you've been in a deficit?
No, not at all. If anything, if I think about that, I think that just brings an air of like, oh, have I dieted for too long? Like, fuck that shit. I feel fine. I feel okay. Of course, like, don't get me wrong. I think there's been some days where I'm like, oh, like this is how it feels to be fucking like pretty dug out again, because I've not felt like this in a while. But I think honestly, I really enjoy feeling this way. When I have days that are really, really challenging, I'm like, I think as a coach as well, like, I don't want to sound like a dick here, but I just know that there's people that can't adhere when it gets this tough. And I like laugh to myself in my head, because I'm like, this is so, like, for me, this is so easy.
Yeah.
Like, I could do this all day. Like, tell me to eat less, tell me to move more. I'm not bothered. Like, really, I can do it. As long as I can still function for work and I can sleep at least 6-7 hours, I'm just gonna crack on. Like, so, and then, but the thing is, I also find myself becoming, and I always try to tone it down in client check-ins, because if I'm then met with someone that is complaining about something so little and so like minutia, I start to flip, and I'm like, you need to get a grip. Like, you're just being a complete pussy now. And that is where my off-season AJ is a bit better at having empathy. So I try to always take some deep breaths before I do a check-in and be like, right, blend empathy with direction. Because if you don't have any empathy left in your system, well, there'll be a lot of cancelled direct debits, to be honest. So I try to have a bit of empathy left in my decision making, because it's important.
AJ, I think you're coaching wrong, bro.
Yeah, zero empathy should be the approach, right?
Well, how did Mr. Willie treat you?
Yeah.
And look what happened to you, bro.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Channel your inner Willie, mate.
Exactly, but maybe I don't know, the generational change of person now feels like we all need to be kind. We all need to be kind, you know.
Oh, mate.
Got to think about the mental health of these people, mate. If I tell them that they've done something wrong, goodness me, they could have a really tough night of sleep.
And that would therefore ruin recovery, and
and then the fatigue would be high.
The fatigue management is just out the window.
Yeah.
Don't want to knock them out of the parasympathetic state, you know?
Yeah.
We've just got to really keep an eye on that nervous system regulation there. So each check-in needs to be only a certain amount of sympathetic drive into the system.
AJ.
They'll explode.
Jesus.
Indeed. Oh, dear. Yeah. So, show dates this year. You're obviously doing the UKDFBA Heart of England.
Sure.
Are there any more?
Yeah, so at the moment, only two, like, 100% fixed in. The UKDFBA and then the Worlds 3 weeks after. And then I'm going to honestly see how those have gone. See where I'm at in terms of how I feel. See, what my close friends think. Get the opinion also of Loz, because she's really helpful in my decision making. That is an opinion that is non-emotional bias, because I think if she had 100% decision with boyfriend element, she'd probably want me to stop now. Don't get me wrong, like I am not a different person. It's just the energy levels at the end of the day that normally you'd have more, compassion and an emotional relationship with your partner. And it's just that point for me has died hard, like the last 3 or 4 weeks, being brutally honest. So I think when she's thinking about the fact that could go on for another 10 plus weeks, that's quite a long time. And considering she also prepped last year, there was a long time where she wasn't also in that, nice position where you feel just all the time like nice energy. So that's something that, don't get me wrong, like I do consider, because I value my relationship, and I also value I value my relationship probably the highest out of anything, because Loz does so much for me to make me a better coach. Because then the second thing that I value the most is my work. So if my work takes a hit as a byproduct of, like, for example, let's say my sleep gets really trashy, I think at that point I may have to consider, okay, look, like, season's been good, let's wrap it up, let's get back to doing the do. More clients are stepping on stage at the back end of the season for myself as a coach. I've got lots of work to do still with the MBW show and promoting that. So yeah, it just depends as to when the wheels that I'm spinning are getting all over the fucking plot. Like right now it's good, I'm chilled, but there might be a point where I need to consider that.
Yeah. No, that's good to hear. Again, I think people end up going on these endeavours and they don't really think about their partners throughout it. It's it's a team effort. If you're living with your partner, then you need to make sure that she's fully on board, or they are fully on board with the goals that you're chasing. So yeah, very valuable yet again, Mr. Morris.
I try my best.
Right. Tom, any questions that you've got at the top of your head? Because I've got about 40.
What? From your question box, and from like you personally?
From my questions box.
Mate, Jesus,
Cool.
You got some right engagement there. That's pretty good.
Mate, 2 questions box, both have a minimum of 10 in each.
That's good. That's
That's
decent.
ace.
It's
That's
people
ace.
want to know what's going on, AJ.
Yeah.
Fuck's
Right.
sake.
So with the I got a question actually for AJ. Your camera's gone.
Camera's gone. No signal.
There it is.
There we go. We had the no signal.
Organising the... So how many weeks out from the MBW International? We know 23?
24 this weekend.
24 this weekend. Cool. What has been the hardest... I think I remember years ago, someone asking you a question in your story, and I don't know why I remember this. Because clearly I thought the same thing as them. And they asked you, would you ever hold your own bodybuilding show? And you said no.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
that's not looking good, is it?
That might have been out of respect to people that was running shows at the time.
Yeah.
I think honestly that yeah, you're really right, Josh. I think that answer probably reflected the landscape of the shows that we were facing at that point. And it also was probably my perspective, because obviously I get to spend a lot of time around people that do run shows, and from what I gathered as a perspective, it was only a very stressful and horrible endeavor, mixed with a lot of passion. And I was like, I see the passion, but I also see that 90% of the time you're stressed out of your skull. And what I actually have realized, being brutally honest, is that if you manage your time unbelievably well, like I do, it's actually pretty straightforward. Like I've not obviously ran the show yet, so I'm not going to speak out my arse on that one. But what I am going to say is that the actual building of the site, the building of the onboarding for competitors, the building of the QR codes, the building of the lighting, all of this stuff, if you have the right people and you outsource and you just make the time to speak to the right people, it's not that complex. It just requires a bit of funding. In fact, a lot of funding. A little bit of time searching for the right people, and social media is just great for that. Like being on social for the last decade has made me find the right people almost straight away. And then that's really it. So, as for the majority of stuff, honestly, we're pretty much ready to go. Like obviously the venue sorted, the lighting sorted, the live stream sorted, the photo, the video sorted, the tanning sorted, the makeup and hair is sorted, the registration day is sorted. Like, people are coming in. We've already got almost 90 competitors, which is not bad for this many weeks out.
Oh my days.
Yeah, it's not bad,
That's ridiculous.
No, for this far out, that's really bloody good.
Yeah, I mean, some of the classes are also looking like really quite stacked. Like, if we look at, like, when I say on the Instagram post, I'm not saying that just as a sales pitch, but like under 70 kilo bodybuilders, bear in mind we're going to limit classes at 15. We are literally at 13. So there are literally 2 spaces left if you're under 70 kilo bodybuilder and you want to compete in the show. So
you hear that, guys? Obviously, we are all men's physique here, but you know,
do bodybuilding as well, Josh. Just jump in and steal the last spot.
Oh, bro, I'll be under 70 kilos, no drama. I just have to chop my legs off. You nearly spat it everywhere, didn't you?
Sorry. Yeah, imagine a 69 kilo Josh. Fuck me, that would look awful.
I'd have to shave my hair off, legs off. Yeah, would not be a good time.
No.
How much, Josh? What are you on stage again? You're like what?
80?
80 at your last.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Those up.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah. Easy work.
So yeah, that's like where we're at with things, and yeah, things honestly it's also like built like you know, all the graphic design, all the stuff like that. Like, I don't do that myself. You know, I just outsource to people that then, you know, give me deliverables, and then I post them. Honestly, I think the main thing has just been like handling the social, and I think that's maybe something that I need to or will in the future hand off to someone else, because for me at the moment, like, bit of a background, like I post every single MBW post, so all the IG reels that go up for athletes, all the weeks out posts, all the stories, all the replying to the DMs, that's everything is me. And I even sign off like DMs to competitors that are interested in the show, or inquire about a membership, or say, how can I cancel my membership? I sign them off AJ, or I reply with a voice note, because I think that at this stage of the business is really important, because I've actually had some people reply saying, I'm not like bigging myself up here, but saying like, I didn't even expect to get a response from like you know, I expected just to get like a member of staff or something. So, but I do think at some point there will have to be some bit more automation, or I pass that down to someone that I employ, because it's only going to get bigger. And I think that as long as the communication is professional and, you know, time efficient, then it's good. But it's just, yeah, that's just like my diary. When I look at it day by day, it's slowly just building up of different things that are only like 2 or 3 minute tasks, but there's just a lot more of them that are building in compared to like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But yeah, I'm happy about that right now. I can handle it right now.
Yeah.
Unreal.
I remember when I first bought a hoodie from Chris Bumstead's website, and there were an issue with like getting it sent over. I remember getting an email saying from Chris Bumstead. And I was just like, oh my God, as if.
Yeah.
It's what you've got to do at the start of... Like, you are?
It's little things like that build integrity into a business, you know? So
well, yeah, when you're on the... When people see that it is you that's doing all the work, it's not like you're the face of something else. It's AJ's thing from start to finish. It does get people bought in more. With MBW, well, with the MBW show, what is the plan for the future? Because obviously, you know, the one show that you're doing this year is going to be, and this is no bias, and I'm not saying this because you're on the podcast, because I've said it on several episodes now, it is going to be the biggest and best natural show, probably in Europe this year, if not the world. What is the plan going forwards?
Keep doing that. Keep doing exactly that. Make it the absolute best show that could possibly be. Comparison to other shows will always be there. You know, this show is this show is that. We're just going to do great things with what we have in front of us, you know, with the amazing UK, especially bodybuilding community that we're going to build the foundations of the show on, which I believe is one of the best communities that we have available to us. We need to capitalize on that. And then, of course, bring in, you know, worldwide competitors through the chains of the amazing chains, and like if we think of the bodybuilding, demographic as like a tree, we have the UK as the main, branch, the main aspect of the tree, and then the branches are all of the other countries that feed into the UK because they feed into the UK scene. We have people come to Ultraflex Gym just for the gym, so the magnet of the venue in itself is literally in and around the area amongst the people that are going to be there. So yeah, make it the best show it possibly can be, and at the same time, always listen to the athletes. Always listen to the feedback. What can we do better? What do you want to see next time? And I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be very happy with the show, but equally there will always be things that we can do better. And if we can keep doing that year on year, whether we're the best show in someone's eyes or not, doesn't matter to me as long as there's happy people and we're building up something into being genuinely. I want it to be something that, again, a younger competitor looks at and thinks, I absolutely have to win that show in the future. I want to be on that stage. They get motivated about it. Maybe they print out a poster and they got it in their room. That kind of little, like the stuff like that's going to be my biggest goal. And for a pro athlete, I want to be able to give some of the biggest prize money in the game eventually. And I think, honestly, with what we have here in the UK with regards to businesses that are going to start to want to support more natural bodybuilding shows, I think that there is a great opportunity to get some big businesses involved that are way bigger than MBW, that have way more funding, that can put up some prize money that is just, nuts. And then make it something where, as a natural pro, you're like, you know what? I was thinking about going assisted because I needed to make more money and I want to do this a little bit more for a living. Okay, how about we put up some money that can pretty much see you doing okay for a year,
Yeah.
And then come back and try and win it again. How about that?
Unreal.
Pretty sick.
That's always the issue when it comes to just bodybuilding in general, but especially natural bodybuilding because it's so niche, is funding, isn't it, from like bigger companies. It's always a very tough thing.
Yeah. I think the limitation is that there's more eyes on the assisted realm, which of course I think that's never something that we're going to overcome really quickly, but I think it's genuinely something that we can overcome. I think that the access to having more readily available free streaming of shows will only be a good thing. The stream that we're putting out is going to be live on YouTube for free on my channel. So it's going to go out with extremely high quality. People are going to see what natural bodybuilding is live on YouTube. And I think that's going to make a substantial mark in terms of offering not only the initial sponsors the exposure that I've guaranteed for them through the YouTube live streaming, but also as a sponsor that is maybe running a bigger business or something that's in our niche will see that and be like, oh, wow, like they got an ad, in the middle of that segment, and there's 5,000, 6,000 people watching, maybe even more, 10,000, whatever, and the stream then builds and builds and builds and builds. And then sooner or later, we're looking at people that are coming to us saying, look, I want to put down some big funding here. I want to support you and what you're doing and give back to the sport and build some even bigger prize money.
That's exciting, man. Well, someone's got to do it, haven't they? So
there's many people doing it. There's many people that have done it before me. I have respect for the people that I'm in and amongst. I have the utmost respect to Lee and Amy for even giving me the opportunity to work alongside UKFBA, have their officials at the show. Because without that, I wouldn't be in a position to be able to make this happen. I'd have to build a lot more infrastructure. So I have a lot of appreciation for the people that have done this for many, many years. But at the same time, I have even more appreciation and respect because they have been the people that have said something needs to change. And they have decided that I and MBW are that change. And that's why I have a hell of a lot of respect for them, because they could quite easily just keep going on the same path that we're on right now. And I don't think that is a super progressible path. No. I think there are other people that will overtake And before we know it, natural bodybuilding, honestly, will just sit as a secondary pedestal below assisted bodybuilding. It won't be natural and assisted. Cool, you can follow whatever. If you follow assisted, you're also coming to a natural show, but it's going to be held as like a slightly downgraded version at an awkward time when you might not even want to watch it. How about you go to a show and it's amazing, it's like the Olympia, but it's just natural bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Because if we don't take action now, we're basically just going to be competing in similar stages as assisted guys and girls, but we're not going to be the main attraction. So what's the decision? Do you want to be the main attraction? Support people who are wanting to make it the main attraction. If you don't, go and support other things where it's not the main attraction. That's my opinion, genuinely. So, yeah.
No, with you 100%, mate. 100%. We have got loads of questions, so...
one or two more, should we do? Keep this at an hour so people...
Yeah. We'll try and fire through as many as we can of these. AJ, do you plan on being natural for life?
Yes, 100%.
As
discussed earlier in the episode.
Is there anything that could happen to you that would make you go, maybe now's the right time? Or is that it, just natty for life, regardless of, let's say you get any kind of injuries, any kind of hormonal issues? Would any of that, challenge your opinion?
For sure, if my dick doesn't work for years, mate, I'm not staying natural. No way. 100%. I think Loz would have something to say about that. So,
shagging, natural bodybuilding. Me.
2 years of no dick working, assisted we go.
Straight up.
Ditto, bro. Jim and Sam has asked, why no physique updates throughout your off-season /prep? Any particular reason?
It's boring. I'll show you the progress. That's it.
Beautiful.
I get bored of seeing people's physiques sometimes, man. I'm not being a dick here, but I just get bored. Cool, you look the exact same. So I prefer to share training, number one, because that's what I prefer to share. Number two, I don't want the opinions of others to blur my perspective on what I'm trying to do myself, which is always, it's, are you not afraid of being too lean for too long? Are you afraid of being too lean too far out? You look really lean for 8 weeks out. It's all of these things that then get in your head, man.
Yeah.
They get in your head. I know where I need to be. I know the path that I need to be on. So for me, I use the people that I've got around me that I trust and respect to send my photos, to view my physique, to know what course of action I need to take. I don't have... And it drives me anxious, when I post it, if I posted up something, during this prep, it's just lots of comments and lots of them very nice. And I respect that. I love that. But I can get nice comments by putting out a vlog or by putting out some training, and I don't need that external validation for my physique. And I find that a lot of people post it for a dopamine hit, and I don't want that dopamine hit. I just want to be level-headed, chilled, relaxed, enjoy the process, show my physique. And, for people that, want to see the process and more, don't get me wrong, I've got albums upon albums of pictures from myself taken, but also from Alex, that we've built a whole prep album where I can show you the whole process from 29 weeks out, from the pre-prep, from 6 weeks out, 8 weeks out, how every different physique looks. And for an education standpoint, I prefer to share that after the fact than during.
I support it 100%. I think for me personally, over the last, I'm going to say 2 to 3 years, the penny has kind of dropped that if your physique is the main attraction for people to follow your journey, then in years to come, you've not built a true following. You've got people that are interested in when you compete, and that's pretty much it. You see these massive fluctuations in, your insights, all that kind of shit, the connections that you build. There's nothing that's consistent and set in stone, whereas what you've done is you've documented everything that you're doing on a daily basis. You're just not giving the stuff that's under your clothes, the thing that is truly the least important variable in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Is literally it's the process. The process isn't. It doesn't have to be always a visual representation of that process within the physique either. You know, the visual representation of that process is me taking a 3-year off season, and then you're looking, okay, he stepped on stage, he stepped off stage, he stepped on stage again. Simple as that. So that's my perspective, at least. But I have nothing against people who share their physique a lot, and I understand that you can hit the algorithm hard and all of that stuff. But I also don't. I'm not even in that position business wise where I need to push those posts to gain a following or to gain awareness or to gain clients. And I think that, you know, perhaps there are some younger coaches out there that need to do that. I respect that completely. And I shared a lot more when I was younger. But there's a point where you don't have to. And if you genuinely prefer to not, don't be afraid to do it.
Yeah, 100%. I've got an interest. Well, to be honest with you, quite a few of the questions that I've got have already been answered. So, Will Rabbi _ interesting one. What would AJ do if he failed a drug test, e.g., accidentally took something wad a band?
Well, I think with how OCD I am about everything that goes into my mouth, I would be very surprised to fail a drug test.
Yeah.
I'm the type of guy that will double check, triple check, quadruple check every single supplement that I take. And I will purposefully not take supplements that are from weird companies. I will not take any supplements that could have potential cross-contamination, because I've seen that happen to some people before. And yeah, I have full faith in my natural status. And that's also why every single drug test that I've done from 2014 to now, I've passed and I've been completely fine. So, yeah, polygraphs, I don't particularly like them because I just get very nervous, as does everyone. But I think when you're in the position that I am, it makes you even more nervous, because imagine you do fail a polygraph and you are someone who's a figurehead in natural bodybuilding, just looks shit. Yeah. So it's not just pressure on my athlete. To be honest, like, if I failed a polygraph, I'd just laugh, because I'd be like, this is just bullshit. Like, you know, look at me, mate. Like, I'm almost the same stage weight that I was like 5 years ago. Like, what the fuck have I taken to gain minimal stage weight? If someone comes to a show and they're like 15 pounds up in the same condition, cool. He's, you know, okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep an eye on him. But if you're coming to shows in your mid to late 20s, early 30s, and you're showing up at similar stage weights, but you just look significantly better from the maturity and the new muscle, that's natural bodybuilding. It genuinely is. That is natural bodybuilding. It's similar stage weights, but looking better and better and better. Those are the top tier naturals. The ones that have substantial steps forwards, and this is why when a client says to me, take a 2-year off season, they're like, AJ, what weight do you think will be on stage? If they were peeled last time, like, they're probably going to be a similar weight. You know, if they say to me, oh, I don't think I'll get that light, I'll be like, okay, cool. Like, we can aim for 5 kilos heavier if we want. You'll be 5 kilos softer.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the stage weight. I think for me, just honestly makes me realize that, like, you know, assisted bodybuilders step on stage, mate. Like, Martin Fitzwater is going to step on stage at Pittsburgh, I think, 10 pounds heavier and leaner than he was when he did Prague and the Olympia. That's 6 months ago.
That's
6 months and
ridiculous.
10 pounds of lean tissue.
Insane.
Yeah. That's assisted bodybuilding with elite level genetics.
Yeah.
But he's also a guy that treats his process like very similar to how I treat mine. I treat my day like literally a pro bodybuilder. I treat my day like I'm going to treat my day like I'm going to Ben Hall in 3 weeks' time. That's my Olympia. That I treat my day like that. Like, you know, no bullshit. So if I turn up and I, you know, have a very similar stage weight, then, you know, well, why didn't I gain 10 pounds like Martin? Is because I'm not assisted.
Yeah. Hey, little side thing. I had someone sign up for coaching the other day called Ben Hall, and I thought it was a piss take. I saw the inquiry. I was like, nah, there's no way. Got on the call. He was like, yeah, Ben Hall. I was like, wow.
Oh, wow.
Fucking hell. Is he local? Is he a local guy?
No, Australian.
Oh, okay, that's a shame.
Yeah, I know. He should go to the Ben Hall. His
I
own
was gonna
theatre.
say, like, I'd grab a picture with him in the Ben Hall.
Yeah. Ben Hall at the Ben Hall.
Met Ben Hall
Amazing.
today.
Yeah.
AJ.
I think.
Oh, go on, Tom. What were you going to say?
No. I was just going to say on the topic of like body weights, I've weighed the same since 2019 every single time that I've competed. And I've always gone into that with like a little bit of a head fuck, like, oh, I should be weighing a bit more, like, have I made this progress? And then you actually see like the photos after when you've got off stage and you can see the improvements. It's always a head fuck, but it's, yeah, I think
more people need to be honest with that though, because I've seen inflated stage weights with people before, and I'm like, you know what? I'm looking at the photos, and I'm like, you've not gained as much as this post says.
Yeah.
Like, there's something that has changed here. And I honestly think it's the fucking scale they're weighing themselves on. They've changed the scale, and they literally have gained scale weights on that number, and they have just inflated it. Or they've done, like, a really, really shoddy prep, like a proper muscle loss special prep. And they've literally, like, I've seen that happen a few times with athletes I've worked with, and I've been really surprised as to how much heavier they did step on stage at. Like, I had one guy last year, step on stage. He last stepped on stage 2021, stepped on stage 2024, and he was legitimately 4.5 kilos heavier. But that's because he literally dieted off 3 to 4 kilos of muscle. Because he showed me pictures in the last prep when he was the same weight, 4.5 kilos-ish up. And he literally tried to get more condition he already had dugout lines in his ass. And he tried to go for more dugout lines in the ass and lost 3 to 4 kilos in the process of literally just muscle. Literally just muscle or body water and stuff like that. So if that happens, then of course, congratulations, you've increased your stage weight from, the chasing the scale classic to a bodybuilding prep.
Yeah. Right. Easy one. Easy. AJ, if you had to pick one body part from each of me and Tom, what would you be taking? To swap with you, obviously.
AJ probably hasn't observed my physique enough, to be honest.
I must admit, I don't know Tom's physique super, super well, but I do remember when you last time competed. Well, I definitely had Josh's. It's just one body part, so definitely would have Josh's abs. Really, really like the midsection. It would be a close call between that and the chest. The chest density and the fullness. As for Tom,
it's a tough question, mate.
It's a tough one, mate.
Where would you like to get weaker?
You're quite strong from the back, aren't you? Right, back double biceps, quite a strong pose. See,
I'd say so.
The difficulty there is I'm also strong for the back, so it's whether I'd want to swap. If it's a swapping thing, I don't know. But if it's I'd have this and this. I'd have your abs and your back.
Well, we'll allow that, AJ. You've made yourself moderately worse.
My anxiety's coming down now. It's fine.
Well, you want an overall, man, so you're good.
Yeah,
we'll take it. We'll take it. Question. I'm trying to find a question that we haven't already answered, to be honest.
Should we wrap up with one more?
Yeah.
Right. I've got a great one then. AJ, have you ever shit yourself during a lift?
No, but very, 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 very close. Very, very close. Like, peak off season, digestion not good, very hot in the gym. I remember being very close once. However, I've experienced several, probably 4 or 5 sessions where Cuba shat himself.
Yeah.
And those were interesting. The most memorable was when he was wearing the Rider-Wear shorts. Do you remember where he always used to wear them?
Yeah.
Very short shorts. Like, we're talking like super high, could see his bollocks, because he never wore underwear either. So when he was pulling deadlifts, if I was from the back, I could see his bollocks hanging out. And then there was one time where, he locked out the top of a deadlift, shat himself, went off to the toilets with his Rider-Wears like hanging around his legs, and then came back with another pair of Rider-Wears. So
I remember the day. You're literally walking around going, I've shit myself. Like, yeah, okay, Cuba, you've shit yourself. It's a good job it's your gym, bro, otherwise you'd probably get banned.
He got the rep, though. So my most memorable shitting yourself moment was the IMBA, PMBA European Championships, where someone did shit themselves on stage in men's physique.
Tam's class.
Left a turd on stage. So that was a shocker. I've never seen anything like it.
Why have I never heard of this? You're fucking
Mate,
joking.
Tam's got stage photos with the shit on the floor.
There's a video somewhere as well. It was in a group chat of like the team we went out with, but it's
Poor
it's
guy.
I think he had too much pre. Like too much pre. He was
Nerves,
shaking,
bro.
like holding the poses too hard, and yeah, just
God.
out came the pre-stage meal.
Wow.
Lovely. What a perfect place to end our 100th episode.
That's perfect.
I think this is going to go down with one of the most informative, educational, but fun podcasts I've ever done. So thank you, boys.
That's what we do. We just blend a little bit of some knowledge with a bit of shit. That's what it's all about.
Mate, I'm at a point where if you ask me educational questions for an hour, I'd be bored to high heaven. So thank you for making this a really, really, really fun hour. Really fun hour.
Can we not just do like another 20 minutes on like fatigue management or anything like that? Or do you need to go?
We covered fatigue management in my mini rant that I went on.
Oh yeah. That's fine then. That's fine.
Beautiful. Well, Tom, you do the outro.
AJ, Jesus, God, whatever we want to call you. Thank you very much for Daddy. Thank you for joining us, bro. Honestly, we really do appreciate your time. Obviously, with everything you got on in your schedule, being on prep, all that kind of stuff. So even just that hour means a lot to us, bro. And obviously for episode 100, couldn't have a better guest on. And Josh, thank you for being here as well, mate. You're here every week. So there we go. Yeah, people. We always say it, but AJ, where can people find you if they've never heard of you?
Sure. AJ Morris Instagram. I think it's AJ Morris _, and then just search like AJ Morris on YouTube for my YouTube. I'm doing a much better job of that this year. And Natural Bodybuilding Worldwide. Sign up, see my videos, see Josh's videos. Join the site, join the forum.
You can follow my log.
Follow Josh's log, which is the most frequently updated log in the history of logs. You'll be lucky if you get a monthly update. But you can follow. I'm just kidding. You can follow his process on MBW through his videos, because the videos are shit hot. So he puts a lot of effort into those. So I respect that. So yeah, guys,
Lovely stuff.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, people. So as always, like, subscribe. We'll catch you in next week's episode because we're actually back now, Josh, aren't we?
Yeah,
we're
we're
actually
back.
Yeah, we're back.
Well, actually,
We're back, baby.
put more effort in.
Yeah.
Back.
So, yeah, AJ, again, thank you. Everyone, we'll catch you in the next episode. Peace out. Love you to bits. Bye-bye.
Au revoir.